Hello and welcome to the KBL Walk and Talk. So today I want to talk about being a wage slave. So basically anybody who works for a wage is basically a slave to the wage. And I'm not saying I'm any better. I work for a wage, so I'm a wage slave as well. But the thing is, like some people say, there's not a lot you can do about it, but there is loads of things we can do. And the first part of the problem is recognizing it and acknowledging it, so then we can basically either do it individually or come together and find a better way. So we've been taught or indoctrinated at school to go to work, to seek permission to go to the toilet, seek permission for when you can eat. And basically the work system is the same. It's like, go to work, you've got to ask when you can go to the toilet, ask when you can have your break, ask when you can take your holiday. If you have a doctor's appointment, you need to seek permission. And it's not freedom, is it? It's like in a way it's like a prison, because even though there's no bars, there's nothing forcing you to be there, but because the monetary requirement to operate in this world, this system, the matrix, you need to earn your credits. So it goes back to basically the origins of working. I mean, okay, let me rewind a little bit. So people have always been working either for yourself or in some sort of like working to help people, but not so much working for a wage. But with the wage slave system, basically it goes back to when there used to be communal lands, so people could live off the land and they could grow their own food, and then they changed everything, but basically selling off the land to these big companies, and then people were forced basically to seek work because they couldn't supply the food themselves. So basically they need to earn a wage so they could feed themselves, and this led to like people going to work. So you can live off the land and you can like live without working, but it's quite hard and uncomfortable, and it's very rough, it's very cold, and you lose a lot of quality, you lose the choice to do so much. Like, yeah, you can still sit down and do nothing, but if you want like certain things in life, you have to work to operate in the system. So one like being holidays, there's no way you can get on a plane without buying a ticket, and then you need to have your passport, so that costs money as well. And to buy clothes you need to work, because how are you going to get clothes? You can make your own clothes, but what are they going to look like, So you're basically indoctrinated to go to work and to follow orders. And then there's also the debt trap, so you can get in debt. So this forces you to work longer and to work more to pay off that debt. And yeah, basically you need finances to operate in this system. So you want to travel, you can't travel without paying something, without paying currency. So energy. So whatever you do, like, unless you're going to cycle everywhere and walk everywhere, but if you're covering like hundreds of miles, that's just not possible, and it's going to take you a long time as well. So you have to earn the credits, to earn the fiat currency, which fiat means let it be. It's just fake money, it's not backed by anything. And also, just to mention, like Henry Ford was the first industrialist. It was actually his idea to introduce the 40-hour work week. So this gave the illusion like you was getting a good deal, but really it's just basically getting you to conform to working a set of hours, you know. And we've seen it time and time again, isn't it? It's like in everything, isn't it? You're convinced to follow things because it's the right thing to do, because you're always told to work hard, you'll go far. But the thing is, you work hard, but you get taxed for it, and then you spend your money, and like, not only do you get taxed on it, everything you buy gets taxed as well. So you pay VAT, and then you pay all the other expenses, all the other extras, and so yeah, it's really hard to operate without it's really hard to operate without earning your fiat currency, your pounds, your dollars. So yeah, and another thing, they tricked all of us. Basically, they give us 2 days off a week in most jobs, so we would get to the weekend, and a lot of us would be like, I hate my job, I want to get another job. And then you have your Saturday and Sunday off, you switch off, you go out Saturday, do whatever you do, either drinking or go to the beach or go shopping or watch football, and then Sunday you recover, you'll be tired, and then you'll be getting ready for the working week again, because you'll be starting tomorrow on the Monday. So you go through the week and you're like thinking to yourself, I need to get out of this situation. And then you have your 2 days off, and you let go of that. You basically have your time off, and then the cycle continues. You just go to work, go home, relax, go to work, go home and relax. And I'm not saying it's easy to break out of this. I mean, I'm still trying to work it out myself. But the first thing we must do is acknowledge it, and then find ways to get out of it. And that could be either cutting your subscriptions, not buying clothes all the time, not spending as much as you need to. You like spending less, because say you like a certain brand, instead of buying Levi's, just buy Primark. You know, it's the things like that. Instead of going, stay in a 5-star hotel, stay in a 3-star hotel. Instead of having 2 cars, if you can get by on 1 car, just have 1 car. And once you take away the need for earning extra money, then you can work less and less, which is what I've tried to do. Because I was working over 40 hours in one job, then I was working 37.5 hours, then working 35 hours, and now I'm roughly working 31.5 hours. So work 3 days and then get 3 days off. And last year I took 2 months off. I didn't get paid, but I put some money aside. I just thought, I'm not gonna continue working all the time and not enjoy my life. I want to live. And this is the thing, this system, it basically tries to indoctrinate you to be a consumer and a customer rather than a producer. Because that's the thing, we're not the producers. Because a producer would be like a businessman, a business. Because we're tricked into consuming, so we just buy and buy and buy. Because I used to do this myself. I used to go to the shop, buy some CDs, buy some new clothes, and buy loads of stuff, and then I'd do overtime to buy more stuff. And that's just where they get us. And then they get you at the weekend as well, because it's like you let go of your determination to get another job. You start relaxing, and before you know it, you run out of time to look for another job, and you just like settled again for the same job and the same cycle and the same life. And it is bloody hard, because like you've been brainwashed your whole life. It's installed in your head, and it's like everything seems scary as well, because it's like if I leave my job, what am I going to do? How am I going to pay my bills? But this is the thing, this is why you need to acknowledge it. Start saving money, start spending less. Cut off the things that make you work more. Because the thing is, you're not happy. Stuff is stuff. It doesn't have any value. Like, you could fall in love with a man or woman and it means so much more than a bloody big size TV. And not only that, it's not just about falling in love. It's like friendships as well, and it's like memories. It's way more important than having a big TV or having a big fancy cabinet. You know, these are the things what we need. If you go into the past, we had less stuff. We had like hardly anything, but people were still happy. Even in poor countries, they don't have everything. They don't have cash. They're poor and they don't have much money, but they still smile. They're still happy. And then we have all this stuff. We have like Xboxes and PlayStations and subscriptions to Netflix and Amazon. We just sit there binging all these TV shows. What it's like look at Netflix. It's programming you basically to think a certain way and to follow certain agendas. And it's like, we need to cut that shit out of our life. I'm not saying sometimes it is good, like when it's a cold day and Christmas, like if you live in the UK, it's too cold to go out and stay out too long, so you watch a bit of TV, but don't sit there watching it all day and every day. At least like try to do other things. But yeah, it's the problem. We've all had this conditioning. And I find it hard in the gym. Like, I'm in the gym and the TV screen's on, and it's just naturally, I don't say it's natural, but like, because you've been living that life for so long, you just look up at it and to see what's on it, and it's like telling myself to stop looking at the screen, and then stop looking at my mobile, stop looking at my tablet, because this is the world they built for us, and this is not the world we were supposed to be exposed to. We wasn't brought here to be slaves, wage slaves, and just useful idiots. You know, we're much more than that. We are special. We got a lot of abilities, but it's dumbed out of us. Like, so many things are like dumbed out of us. So this is what they wanted. They just wanted us to be slaves. And the thing is, with AI and robotics, they especially AI, they say AI is going to help us. But what's to say it will help us? Yeah, there's like no proof that it's going to help anyone. Because you could have AI and you could still be working shit jobs. Like, is AI going to pick shit off the street? Like, let's say, I'm not saying people are going to be forced to do that, but let's say universal basic income, UBI, says you have to do community jobs. You know, it could make you do that, because AI is not going to do it. AI is just going to do administration, everything online. It's not going to do the physical stuff because it won't be able to. You'll still need humans to do that, people to do it. And another thing as well, with this universal basic income, what's to stop the government from saying you need to do national service or you need to do conscription to earn your universal basic income? Because so many jobs are going to be covered by robotics and AI. So wage slavery could be abolished, but in another it could be transformed into another form. So instead of being working for a wage, so say, like hourly, you could be on a universal basic income, but to keep getting your payments, you'll still have to give your time for that money. So yeah, so we don't know this yet, and I can't see into the future, but it wouldn't surprise me if they try and do stuff like that. But yeah, and another thing, I think when I said about Saturday and Sunday working weekends, I think that is why they call it the weekend, because you're weakened, because basically you're on your feet if you're unlucky enough to not have a job where you sit at an office. And it's like, and in all aspects of work you're always like going to have a negative. Like you work in an office, yeah, you're just going to be like bored all the time, slow afternoons. I'll say you have a few back problems as well. It's like being a lorry driver, isn't it? It might look great, like you sat in your arse all day. No disrespect to lorry drivers, because they still do a great job, because you wouldn't be able to get your goods and you wouldn't be able to get your food and without these guys and ladies. But I'm not saying they're lazy either, but saying doing that job, it might look cushy, but then they've got hours and hours of road ahead of them, and then like there's going to be a few back issues, the same as the office workers. So every job's got its drawbacks. But yeah, we've been taught to work, to be a consumer, a customer, but never the producer, because the masters, well, they shouldn't be called masters because they don't deserve that respect, but let's say the controllers, yeah, because that's a better word. So the controllers, they're the producers, because they own everything. And this illusion, like Apple and Android, like rivals when they're owned by the same people, and Pepsi and Coca-Cola are owned by the same people, is all these companies owned by BlackRock and Vanguard and State Street Capital. And you know, you get like people thinking, oh yeah, they're all rivals, but they're not. It's like countries, they're not individual countries, they're all controlled. It's like, look at Israel, Saudi Arabia never attacks them. You see, like, even now you had Iran bombing targets in UAE and Qatar. Have they retaliated? Has Saudi Arabia done anything? Has Turkey done anything? Has Pakistan done anything? Even though it's another Muslim country? No, they haven't, because they're all controlled. It's like they only bring in the countries they want to. I mean, sometimes there's elements where a prime minister or president doesn't do what he's told to do, and then they off him. It's like Gaddafi, he went too far. So there's all this stuff about he was a terrorist, but basically he wanted to back his money, back his currency in Libya with gold, and then he offered, I think he was offering like free medical care. He'd fly citizens of Libya to other countries so they could get treatment. The education levels were improved. Basically, it was making the country better. But the US and all the controller, the big countries, the, what do you call it, traditional big boys, didn't want that. And basically, you're not allowed to leave the central banking system. You have to be tied to the fiat currency monetary system. It's backed by nothing. But yeah, we always get these stories like, and they say about his wars, and they say Putin's war against Zelensky, but none of them are touched. Same World War II, isn't it? They knew where Hitler was, Hitler knew where the Queen was, Hitler knew where Churchill was. But did they bomb Westminster? Did they bomb, what was it, the Wolf Lair, where Hitler was hidden up in the mountains in Austria? They never attacked it. Did they attack the Bundestag, the German government? No. They could have done. But what did they do? They bomb normal people, they bomb residential areas. You know, so going off on one here, but just basically saying about these people who are like supposed to be enemies of the state, enemies of different nations, but you also have like the biggest thing is like Russia's supposed to be an enemy of the USA, but they go on space missions together, and then they share land yeah, they never interfere with the Antarctic Treaty. Have you ever seen that? Basically in the Antarctic there's different areas where the British monitor a bit of land, then the Americans monitor a bit of land, the Russians and I think the French, but they don't interfere with each other. They never invade each other's territory in Antarctica. But there's a lot more to Antarctica. It's funny that no planes are allowed to fly over it. There's an interceptor force which basically, if anybody flies over Antarctica, they get a warning. If they continue to go over that space, they could have a good chance of being shot down, and it'd probably be a one-way journey if they go any further into Antarctica. It's interesting when you look at the United Nations reef. Basically on the flag of the United Nations, the reef goes around the world. It's like an ice barrier to another continent, which they don't want you to know, don't want you to see. And airplanes, they always take a certain route. They will not go anywhere near Antarctica. They always have to fly around it and like the distances are so much longer. But I'm not going to go into that now, but yeah. So yeah, acknowledge what wage slavery is, because some people think it's just low wages, but it's like if you're working for a wage, you are forced like a slave to work in that system. Because they invented all these systems. They invented the monetary system, because the money used to have value. It used to be like silver coins and you could exchange it and it would have real value, but now it's just promissory notes. It's just a receipt. Because the goldsmiths in the Knights Templars times, they used to take gold and then you'd get a receipt, a promissory note to say pay the bearer this much. And basically they dropped the gold standard, I think it was in 1971 in America, and then the UK followed suit. And it's funny now, like the Western countries, currencies are getting devalued, but the BRICS nations like Russia and China are buying up more gold. So we're having a transfer basically from the Western powers to the new powers in the East and the global South, I should say. So yeah, wage slavery, and I know it's maybe I've gone on a bit of a tangent with some of this, but it's basically trying to say this monetary system is very important to them. It's all about control. Because that's the thing, if you need to eat, you need to survive, you're going to use this system, because everything's connected to it, like credit, debt, purchasing, renting services. It's all connected to it. There's been various attempts to set up other currencies and gold-backed currencies, and Bitcoin was supposed to take on the central banks, but then the central banks got involved with Bitcoin, not directly but indirectly. So you have all these companies set up to purchase the Bitcoin, and then once they have enough of the Bitcoin, they can influence the market, because they can do a sell-off and they can cause the price to go up and down, because they manipulate the gold market, the silver market, the money market, the oil. Like the oil's gone up now because what's going on with Iran and Israel and America. And a scary thing with that as well, we could be hit with inflation again, like in 2022. And in the UK, the electric, I think, is one of the most expensive countries to pay electric now. It's ridiculous. I've had a bill for the month and it's like nearly £100. It's just crazy. Just such a waste of money for something which they don't even produce. All they do is basically direct it into your house, because energy is natural. But yeah, well, yeah, think about it. Acknowledge the wage slave system, and basically just using us as tax cattle. yeah, and I always bloody forget to say please like, share it and subscribe, but I'll post it at the beginning of the video. Yeah, check out my videos on BitChute, Odyssey, Rumble and YouTube. I'll put videos on TikTok as well, so like short videos just talking about all different stuff, and I'll promote the videos on there, so check that out. Thank you for watching. Yeah, it was like a lovely day today, and it's gone wintry now, so I'm going to get home before my hands freeze off. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe, please like the videos and share them around. Thank you and take care. See you soon.